Hi, my name's Sam Ryan. I'm a certified Ableton Live trainer and I work with Halide Productions. One thing we do at Halide Productions is design custom playback rigs for performing artists. And today I want to show you some of the new features in Ableton Live 11 that help bring this to a new level. Let's check it out. So let me walk you through this custom rack that I made with some of the new features in Live 11. First thing you'll notice here is there's 16 macros, and I can change that from 1 all the way up to 16. And on the push, if you're in device mode, if you're on that rack or on that effect, on this rack that has more than 8 macros, if you click on it, it'll open the rack up, and then the second selection over here with the 2 little circles is macros 9 through 16, and this is macros 1 through 8. You'll notice too on the left-hand side here, I've labeled these macro variations, and a macro variation will capture a different state of the macros. You can make your own states. I'll just muck all these up, and all you have to do is just hit the new button and it captures that variation. So you'll see I'll just jump to my default state and then I'll jump to this variation here. Another way of coming up with interesting variations is with the random button. So this random macros just randomizes macro states. This could make a real mess, but a nice thing here is you'll notice if you right click on a macro, you can exclude macro from randomization. So you'll see when I hit random here that there's certain macros that aren't changing because those are ones that would be a little bit too much to change the sound. So let's just see if I can come up with some interesting variations with this random. That's kind of cool. Let's hit new. Captured that one. Let's try some more. That's not a bad one too. That's cool. Yeah. Right on. So I'll just jump through those dates. And with your MIDI controller, if you go into the map mode, you'll see that the variations, I've already mapped the recall for the variation right there, and I've mapped that to my Tractor F1 controller right here. And you can see how I can recall these different states right from my controller, as well as I've MIDI mapped the knobs to my MIDI Fighter twister here. So it's like my low gain is right here, mid gain, high gain. And when I move these parameters, you can see it moving on my MIDI Fighter twister. That is all possible by, if you go into your preferences, MIDI tab, MIDI Fighter twister. On the input, I've enabled the remote setting. And on the output, I've enabled the remote setting. So the remote is essentially a MIDI remote control. And that is when you hit this button here, I can assign a knob to a particular controller. And then if I move that, you'll see this knob has LED feedback on it. So it sends the MIDI message back out to it. And when I change states, that is reflected on my MIDI controller. If you have a MIDI controller with endless encoders on it, meaning it's not a fixed encoder like this one where it stops at the left and the right. This one, there is no, I can keep twisting it. There is no stop point to it, but you can see where you are based on the LED feedback. And yeah, so you can see how it's recalling different states here on my MIDI Fighter twister. So let's just try this out. I'm just gonna go make myself a big mess here. Let's add some delay and reverb, a phaser, and I'll add a bit of digital muckery here. How about sample rate? And getting close to a breakdown. And I've recalled it back to my neutral default state. This is a fantastic tool for live performance where we can just kind of go all nuts and then boom, be right back to where we want to be with a flick of a button. Super stoked on this one. The macro variations are also really fun to kind of jam just by recalling rather than just tweaking the knob, literally jamming between these fixed positions here. So let's just try it out. So this is my default. That's kind of like a chopper effect. I've got like a reverb blast. Oh, that's a delay. I've got a beat repeat setting here, quarters, eighths, 16ths, and you see I could apply my filter to it, add reverb delay, speed it up, and then get right back out of that. Hey, thanks for watching. And if you want to get your hands on this rack, I've left a link in the description for a free download. Cheers.